Defense, thesis defense, one of the things that students have struggled with over the years. I don't know if you're struggling with that, but if that's your issue, you have spent time to compile the work and do the project. After spending like 3, 4 years, at times 6 months, 1 year, you are in the right channel. Just stay put. I'm going to teach you a step by step how you can go about carrying out your viva, your final defense, your oral defense, and then wrap up your PhD, your master's, or your first degree project in style. This is Flow Up, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do that. I have quite a lot of things coming your way. There are various sections in project defense. The very first one you must know is the background to the study. Now, I'm going to get an imaginary topic so that we can relate properly as I deal with it. Now, I'm speaking from literary point of departure, so you can be in the science, in education, any field of yours, it's the same thing, not much difference. Now, for the background to the study, what you are required to do is that define the key terms. Basically, just tell us maybe one or two things people have said about it, how it links to your work, and then link it to the problem of the study. So in your background, few minutes, maximum 30 seconds to 1 minute, you'll be done with that one. The next thing you should talk about in your oral viva, the next most important thing, is the problem of the study. We call it la problématique d'étude in French. Now, what it means is that you tell us what have been done so far in that work. Let's pick this imaginary topic, techniques of foregrounding in selected novels of Alain Mabonkou. Now, in that work, in my background, I will define what techniques is and what foregrounding is, and then link both of them and then arrive them. When I come to this aspect of the gap, I will say a lot of work have been done in Alain Mabonkou's novels. We look at the thematic aspect and look at the cultural aspect, we look at a lot of issues on it. However, scant attention or very little attention has been paid to the area of style, the techniques used by the writer, the techniques of foregrounding. So you see, I brought my topic into it now. I say that's why this work, we're going to be looking at that area. That is a gap I'm feeling. The next thing I'm going to talk about is my aim and objective. Remember, your topic is your aim. Then how do I go about this aim? How do I achieve this aim? The objective comes in. Number one thing from that topic we just coined now, I'm going to identify the various techniques used in the test, foregrounding techniques. Number two, I'm going to identify the dominant techniques of foregrounding. Number three, I'm going to talk about the function of these techniques I've identified. Number four, maximum 4 is okay. I will say, how does this technique contribute to the understanding of the automatic theme of the test or the measure of the writer? When I've done that, I go to the next thing. The next I'm talking about that is to justify why I decided to look into this work. And I will say that for this particular work, it's going to contribute to existing literature at the level of literary stylistics, thematic analysis as well. It's going to contribute to the overall knowledge of students. It's going to help researchers as a resource material. And it's going to also be good for the writer because I'm promoting the writer's work, bringing it to relevance. And then finally, for the entire society, it's going to be very important because those that will read this particular work and get the insight I'm bringing into this particular work will be able to learn on how to improve their behavior, their lifestyle, depending on how the theme is in the book. So I'll state that. The scope, I cannot work on everything this writer have worked on. Maybe he has like 100 books or 50 books or 10 books. And I'm picking just 3, 4. Or maybe just one for those undergraduate student that does that most of the time. I would say, well, he has written a lot of books, but I'm going to be focusing on a particular one or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the kind of research you are doing, first degree, master's or PhD. However, I might look at other ones as the case may be, just to refer to them. So I've given them the scope. We call it la délimitation du travail. Now, what I'm going to talk about for the next one is going to be my methodology. Now, this is a literal analysis. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm using execution test. I'm going to be doing qualitative work. I'm going to look at papers, articles, journals, and then I'm going to subject the data I'm picking, which is the excerpt from the book, to linguistic analysis, to statistical analysis, textual analysis. It depends on the kind of analysis I want to carry out. But for this particular topic we coined now, it's going to be could be linguistic analysis or just linguistic analysis or say statistical analysis. So when I've stated that, I will leave that. I'm done giving you my methodology where I'm about to go. But for those in education, you're going to state the fact in your work that, okay, I used questionnaire, and my questionnaire, I got so responded. You're going to give us the scope what you use for your studies. Then for those in the sciences, the kind of lab work you did, we're going to come in at a particular time. Now, when I've done with the methodology, now for humanities, I'll now come to theory for a master's or PhD work most of the time. Then I'll just take the kind of theory I use. Let's say I use theory of for granting, for example. I will define what it means, the proponents of the theory, the particular features of the theory, those principles that I'm going to use from that theory to analyze the test. It could be 1 or 2 for a master's thesis, and then I'm going to talk about the complementary theory as well. But for most first degree thesis, many people don't use theories, so you just go ahead. And when I'm done with that one, the next aspect that you must talk about, very important, has to do with your analysis. Now, I'm going to talk about the various techniques. I mentioned techniques of programming. Let's say we have like 5. Let's say we have neologism there or nomination. Let's say we have parallelism, we have reiteration, we have parody, we have intertextuality. Those kind of techniques in writing, I will not begin to pick them as, okay, in the book, this technique was used so and so way and to drive home so and so message. So I'm picking the next one, so and so way it was used in the text. I might cite the excerpt because I already have it often already or in front of me. Just cite it in my presentation, and then I explain how it was used, the message it conveyed. And when I've done that for all the techniques, I've found that I'll come to my conclusion. In this work, I found out that the writer used predominantly 7 techniques, and each of the techniques were used to foreground the writer's message at different points in time. And so I will state how they are used. That's my conclusion. And finally, I will now come to the thesis of my thesis, that is my contribution to knowledge. I will say, based on my study and the findings I've received, carrying out stylistic analysis of literary text, if it's a thematic or say, thematic analysis help you to discover the message of the writer properly, that most literary students in undergraduate studies do. And then I could say, because of that, I'm recommending this particular approach for further studies, for other researchers, because it actually brings out not only the message of the writer, but the beauty in the presentation. When you have done that, you've killed it. That is all. The questions are going to be minimal. They just have some few questions here and there, and you are through. That is oral defense. Final defense is that simple. And so if you're preparing for anyone, just stay put. Just make sure you follow this video again, watch it over again, and you're going to have fun. You're going to ace it. And if you have followed the video this time, please and please share this video. Subscribe first of all, and share the video to your friends. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.